Hi, I'm Parni Jaggi, and we're going to be continuing with John Donne's Metaphysical School of Poetry. We know John Donne as a 16th century metaphysical poet of England who is still well known today and well read as a metaphysical poet and as a poet of love, even now. So, when we talk of the metaphysical school of poetry, what we understand by this school is that there was a group of poets in the 16th century who wrote this kind of a strain, this kind of a poetry, which we call metaphysical poetry, although this word was later given by Samuel Johnson in the 18th century. Now, what were the attributes of this poetry and what these poets tried to do? How were they experimental in their own domain? Let's see that. So what is metaphysical poetry? Meta means beyond and physics means physical nature, material nature that can be touched, felt. So in simple words, we define metaphysical poetry as that in which the poet remains away from the description of physical things, physical love, physical relations, physical intimacy. And in the case of John Donne, we hardly see any poem in which he talks about the physical attributes, physical features, or physical beauty of a woman or his beloved. Even in his love poems, he demonstrates his feelings, his intensity, his passions by using the exact words, precise words. Yet he never praises a woman's physical beauty in its general terms or just to impress a woman. So this kind of a poetry was actually considered away from imagination, like we read John Keats or Shelley. But his metaphors, John Donne's metaphors, and the metaphors and similes of the metaphysical poets are actually complex. They are not simple similes. They are complex, they are far-fetched, and they show far greater paradoxes and binaries than the other poets of English literature. Now, there are some more features, some attributes of metaphysical poetry which we might discuss here. Metaphysical poetry is actually free from artificiality. It is not just written to praise, to flatter, just as a boastfulness. No, it is nothing boasting about love. It is just expressing the intensity with a combination of wit and thought and emotion. So it has a unified sensibility of a mixture, a combination, a blend of thought as well as emotion, intellectualism as well as emotionalism. Then an important attribute which we cannot escape is it contains conceits and hyperboles. Now conceits are the extended images, the extended metaphors, which are not just simple metaphors that we observe in life, but they are far-fetched. We may not be even able to think of these. So they are extraordinary similes which are not commonly placed or used by common people. Hyperboles are exaggerations that we will see in his poetry when we come to his poem individually. Metaphysical poetry is undoubtedly intellectual. There is a use of intellect. It is not just pure emotion. It is not just feeling which is pouring out of a poet's pen. It is intellect blended with emotion. It always remains away from the female physique. So it is not just detailing the nose, the eyes, the physical features, the physical beauty of the female as it used to be in the 16th century or even later on. Lovers and poets were just giving detailed descriptions of their beloveds, the hair, the complexion, the eyes, the beauty, the lips. But no, in the case of metaphysical poetry, it is not like that. It's about emotions and psychological experience. Yes, it does have emotions because it is love poetry, and love is all about emotions, but it is also experiential. The poetry is based on the psychological experiences of the poet himself, and it has the intensity which blends the intellect also with the emotions. Now, when we read John Donne as a metaphysical poet, he is most important among the school of metaphysical poetry. So we have this quotation by Grierson, the famous critic, who says Donne is metaphysical not only by virtue of his scholasticism, but by his deep reflective interest in the experiences of which his poetry is the expression, the new psychological curiosity with which he writes of love and religion. So he is metaphysical not because he has the scholarship, he has the learning and the knowledge, but also because he can deeply reflect on the experiences which his poetry is expressing, because he has a curiosity with which he writes about love as well as religion. Then another important point is that it is free from physics. Physics means the physical attributes, the physical beauty, the physicality of life. It is not just expression of the physicality, the physical attributes of life and love, but he is talking about the worldly love, but then he transcends his conversation about the worldly love and takes us to the spiritual love also. Now, of course, there is this unified sensibility, which is actually the combination of intellectualism, wit, and emotion. And intellectualism and wit are an essential part of metaphysical poetry. Another important feature is that he begins his poems abruptly, suddenly, in a colloquial manner, in order to get the attention of his readers. For example, we see in Sun Rising, for God's sake, let me love. Hold your tongue and let me love. So it is like as if he's scolding somebody, and it is abrupt, as if some dramatic action has taken place in that particular scene or in that particular location. So Donne's wit is significant to make him the best metaphysical poet of the era. And of course, the conceits and hyperboles that we will be reading in the poems will take an important place. For example, the conceit in Valediction Forbidden Morning is a very, very important conceit and a very famous one, which actually takes us to wonder how he could have thought about mathematics and geometry while he was in love. So this was briefly about the Metaphysical School of Poetry. We hope to meet very soon for the next video, which will be about the poem